1 second. Shaar Alef, Perek, Dalet. What we learned, which is both important and fascinating until now, is that when we say that a person, Adam, was created B'Tselem Elokim, what we mean to say is not only does Adam have the tzura of Hashem, but it has the koach of Hashem. Tselem Elokim refers to the a koach in the bria. There's a koach of Elikus. In Elokim, we keep on explaining B'Shem the Zayar means that is the juice of the bria. It's called Elokim. Bereishis bar Elokim is Hashemayim v'sa'aretz. It's an important nakuda here. It's a different way of looking at it. Bereishis bar Elokim means that which enlivens and animates everything in this world is the koach of Elokim. Hashem didn't just choose a name. I could have Bereishis bar Shakai, Bereishis bar Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Bereishis bar Elokim is the koach that Hashem used to create the bria, and he put this Elokim in the bria. And everything that has koach is called El. Mikamocha be'elim Hashem. Even Avodah Zarah can have some koach, not to be worshipped, also to worship, but it has some koach. That's why it was worshipped. And that's why Elohim Macherim, they view as a davar ad to Elohim, which refers to a bastin. And when we're talking about, that's the Tselem Elokim, and we're talking about the koach of the Adam, the koach of Elokim, as we've been explaining for the last couple of shiurim, that refers to Adam as being in charge of an entire department of the whole Brias HaOlam. And in order to be in charge of a department, you have to have the koach of Tselem Elokim, not just the uniform, but actually the authorization and the power, the executive power to be able to make changes in the world. So Hashem created Adam. It's not just like He created, plants, and He created monkeys, and He created people. No, He created people that was to be in charge of the monkeys and the animals. And this is you are now. I made this world, and I made this look at it as a big company, a big enterprise. And now the Adam is in charge, and Hashem is in charge of the Adam. In order to be in charge. And this is what we're going to learn here in Perek Dalet. First of all, what we said is a person has to be a Medabrim. It's not incidental that, wow, what a bria, he can talk. It's not that. That's not the pshat. The pshat is Ba'asar Ma'amarais Nivra Ha'olam. Hashem created the world. The Dibor Vayomer. So now, if Adam is going to continue the creation, in order for it to have executive power over the bria, he has to be able to continue in the Machadish B'Tuvay B'Chol Yom Tamid Ma'aseh Bereishis. He has to be able to continue to make the bria keep on happening. And in order to do that, you need the Koach Hashem, or the Tselem Elokim. And where do you see the Koach Elikus more in a person than in the fact that he can talk? Until now, the only the only being that can talk was HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Then there's a whole world. The cucumbers can't talk, rabbits can't talk, so the only one that could talk was at the end of the Bria Adam. So here we're reverting to a Koach Hashem Mamish. It's a Koach Hashem Mamish, this Koach HaDibur. So it's not just, wow, Ma'ula Shebabriyos, Gevaldik. It's that you're not a fly, you are in charge of flies. You can swat them. You can attract them. You can do stuff with flies. But there's a koach hadibur which gives us the ultimate koach, the ultimate not just executive privilege, but executive power, and most important, executive responsibility. That's the most important thing. So it changes the whole job, the whole mandate, the whole purpose, the raison d'etre of being created in this world. It's like a whole different job. We have to see ourselves in that light. And on this, he says, Perek Dalet, V'zois Teres Ha'adam. I have just explained to you what it means to be an Adam. You know how I always said over in the Talmud Varshi, or I must have said it 100 times, like people say, I'm only human. Human is big. Human is very, very big to be human. I'm only human, like say, I'm only a Malach. Yeah, I'm only Mount Everest. Human is very, very big. Bigger than Malach, bigger than Mount Everest. So there's no only human. That's tremendous kochos to be human. We don't know the kochos that we have.
So when I said when people like these extreme vegetarians who believe they can speak to trees and that they were hurting the carrot's feelings and all this kind of thing, I mean that's completely up the crosses in a way.
In a way. It could be that we haven't gone through this, we're going to go through it at some point, that there might be some level of neshama or regesh in all of the different levels, doimim, semeach, chaim, medabrim. But it's not the same as a medabrim. But here, we're looking at the other way around. Carrots have no koach in the bria. Carrots might have feelings too, but they don't have a koach in the bria. A carrot is a carrot. They can't do anything. What we're going to learn here, and this is maybe controversial if you were brought up in a more liberal world, that goyim don't have any koach in the bria. Does that offend anybody? It's okay.
But they're Medabrim, no?
They're Medabrim. So how does that work? That's the sugya.
Are Malachim also Medabrim?
No. Dog language. They understand each other, the birds, no?
Looks like it.
Let's go.
They brought them up, they're going to bring them up, so.
Rabbi Yaacov, like you, as usual, right on top of it. So, Zois Teres Adam. Kol Ish Yisrael. Hear the deal? Dalet. Kol Ish Yisrael. What's the key word here? Yisrael. Al yomer b'liboy chas v'shalom ki ma'oni u'ma'koichi lifol b'masai hashvelim shum inyan boilim. Person should never say, okay, like a Musser sentence, Person should never say, what's my koach? What's your koach? I put you in charge of this whole thing. What's your koach? Person should never say, al yomer b'liboy chas v'shalom. Al yomer b'liboy means you shouldn't even think. Don't even think. Ma ani uba koichi lifol b'maasai, not masai, b'maasai hashefelim shuminyan boilim. What are my meager acts going to accomplish? Omnam v'yavin v'yeda v'yikba b'machshavos libay. Person should establish something very, very clearly in one's heart and in one's thought pattern. This is very important. That every detail of everything that I do, everything that I say, and everything that I think, kol eis v'rega, every moment, and every portion of a moment, lo is havidu chas v'shalom, it doesn't get lost. Does that make you feel good or bad, by the way? Yeah, okay. About me too. Like, just let me be. I want to be a carrot. Like, let me be. But that's not the bria over here, to be a vegetable. Umarabu ma'asav ma'oid gadlu v'ramba. How great are one's maisim, how exalted. Shekol achas oila kefi sharsha. And each one works, each word, each part of my body works according to its shorish. I'll try to explain that in a minute. Lifal pu'ulasa, to do its job, begave meromim in the shamayim. Like, let's just just for simple. I don't want to be dumbing down, but let me just say on a simple level. Like, you're sitting in the car, so what's your koach? You can turn the wheel, but that's not your koach. You can turn the wheel. The koach is you can turn the tires. I could turn the key. What koach I have? You're not turning the key. You're turning on the engine. I can push a pedal. All that a kid could do in his toy car. but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. The idea is, yes, you have the control panel, but that's not your koach. The koach is that each one of these things is hooked into something much bigger and much stronger than it. So the whole chiddush of the Industrial Revolution was that you could push something here and it happens over there. It's like an amazing Musar Haskell.
So you're trying to say what we do here.
Yeah, so it's not like, okay, well, I can walk. I have a tremendous koach. You know what? Rabbits can walk better. They can hop, they can jump, they can do better. I watch every day these cats, how it's like unbelievable. Like, like such a stupid breed. They can't compare to them. They get from here to the top in a couple of seconds. Like amazing. And they can see behind, they can see for everything, right? But the shot is, they're doing it here. They're doing it here. It's like a kid in a toy car. They're doing it here. They don't have any kind of bechira, and they don't have any power that I'm pushing the gas pedal here, and it's turning on an engine. Not only just turning on an engine, but it's speeding up the engine. It's making pistons go up and down. Whatever happens these days in cars, that's unbelievable by koach. So by koach is what's happening in Shamayim. It's not what you happen to see over here or what you can photograph. It's what's happening in Shamayim, which is so amazing. So that's what he means by kol achas. I'm just saying the simple pshat. Kol achas olel kefi sharsha. The issue is not the key. The issue is what the key does. That's the shorish. The key is just turning on something bigger than it.
And our shorish is in Shemayim.
Yeah. But you would think that in Shemayim they're controlling us. I'm sure that's true. But what we're learning here is a whole different thing that we're controlling. It's not that the engine, which is much bigger than the key, is controlling the key. It's the key, which is a small thing that costs 10 shekel, is controlling the engine, which costs 100,000 shekel. That's the pella. Like we all know, we're being controlled by Hashem. Hakol b'dei Shamayim. What we didn't know is that we're controlling the Shamayim. I'm not saying we're controlling Hashem, but Snu Oz Le'Elokim, he said in the previous paragraph, is we're HaKadosh Baruch Hu is leaving the controls with us to a certain extent to be able to bring out the Elokim in the Bria. Get it? The Elokim in the Bria. Let's make it 100% clear. I want to limit our kochos. We're not in charge of everything. Only hundreds of thousands and millions of worlds. Alfei Revavais Olamais. That's all. We're not in charge of everything. We're not in charge of God. We're not in charge of who knows what, how many billions and an infinite amount of worlds. But there are a few million worlds that we are in charge of, and those worlds are not here. This is just part of it. So yeah, this is just part of it. You make kugel, you're in charge of the kugel. But that's just a small part of it. What's happening is that you're biyachid yichudim l'mala, and Gedolim, by the way, tzaddikim, in times of the Gemara, they knew this. They knew that everything that they were doing, they're preparing a fish for Shabbos. They're changing the entire Shabbat, which is changing the entire earth. You look at this, it's Meduyik in the Gemara. They understood the tikkunim that they were making.
Something like the Lo B'Shamayim,
That's exactly what that means, right? Lo B'Shamayim means it's all happening here. But we're not in charge of everything, but there's a certain amount that we were put in charge of. Now, if a person says, I'm just a carrot, or I'm just making one, so then you forgot your whole koach over here.
So with a guy, I mean, I don't know if you're going into it now, but what is his ability to? Does he have any ability to be mashpeh in this, or like is Yaakov said with a
Well, so the guy. Let's go a little bit further, and then only the guy. The Haggah here says Haggah was the, if I may, the afterthoughts of Rabbi Chaim Volozhin in this case. The Karev Lishmaya says I can hear pshat. It's like Karev Lishmaya. I have a regesh. I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I have a regesh. Chaim Volozhin wrote the sefer, and then when you look at something you wrote when you get older, like all kinds of like Bertolov commentary. This makes sense. That makes sense. That's what these Haggahs are. Like all of a sudden everything fits in. Just a feeling. Karev Lishmaya says Ken Heron. Shigam b'chlal kavanasim zalbavis. Maybe this is what it means in Pirkei Avos when it says da malamala mimcha. You get it? In other words, da malamala mimcha means know what is above you. Meaning, know there's a God.
What you call it?
Da malamala know what's going on upstairs? Mimcha. Everything that's going on lamala da. Ma lamala mimcha. So Reb Chaim changes the punctuation. Not da ma lamala mimcha. Da ma lamala, you should know that what's lamala? Mimcha. It's all coming from you. Maybe that's the pshat. Rotz Lomar, ki im ein charaya beinecha ha'inyanim ha'neiroim ha'nasim ma'asecha. You may not see the direct effect of what you're doing. Aber teida nemana. You can gut wissen. Ki kol ma shenasa lamala ba'ilomei salyanim goive gevoye gevoyim hakol mimchahu.
It's very scary.
Al pi ma'asecha la'anoitim. Al piem yetzu v'yavoyu. Everything is going on based on how you're pressing. Like, yeah, I didn't hit the guy. I just pushed the pedal. What did I just playing with the pedal of the car. I don't, you know. I remember once driving with my father, so I said, there's this guy coming at us, and he was like going so fast. So he said, I said to him, maybe his brakes don't work. So he says he thinks that his other foot works too good. It's not, like he's pushing on the gas too much, you know. Ube'emes, the truth is, ki ha'ish ha'chacham v'yavein hazois la'amitai, liboy yachil b'kirboy b'chil urada. That's why I said, does this make you happy? Does this make you scared? It's scary, as you said, right? This is not something, this is like vast responsibility. Look, we don't, I just, in parentheses, I think B'chlal, like humans are in denial of responsibilities. When you think about it, like, I mean, I speak to a lot of parents. Sometimes I speak to myself. And I you know, I want, like, it's very easy to say, all right, you know, kids will be kids, and whatever they become.
Hashem will take care of them.
Hashem will take care of them. Oh, no, physically, spiritually, on all levels. There's a responsibility here. You have a child, you have a responsibility. That's called chinuch. You can't just, okay, it'll be okay. It's all right. Like whatever they do, they do. It's, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work to you know, we're going to talk about on Shabbos HaGadol Drasha. It's like there's such a deep hashkafa to whether you're allowed to put yourself in a makom sakana, or be in a makom sakana, or create a makom sakana. Well, why? I mean, hakol b'dei shamayim. What's the big deal? I'll have betachan. We don't realize hakol b'dei shamayim, but we're the shamayim. We're the ones that are being guarded to what's going on in the shamayim. So what are we accomplishing by saying hakol b'dei shamayim? So it's can you kill somebody? Yes. So it's, you know, everything starts to you know, aha. Everything starts to, when we understand the koach ha'adam. So I'm just saying in general, I think people take their responsibilities lightly, and it's a type of denial because once I'm responsible, then I gotta pay attention and work hard and spend a lot of money and all kinds of things. Responsible is responsible. I find even, this is like the best show in the world, but I find I'm serious, at least that's what I've ever found. But, just look at the rabbi. but you know, you find that like people, it's so interesting, like people are in denial of their responsibility towards the tzibur, even here. People are in denial of it. Like if like then people say they don't. Oh, I didn't know that this is what the shul. What do you mean? No, there's signs, there's calls, there's announcements. There's like how many things. But there's a general. I think it's a general principle that most people are in denial, and all people to some extent are in denial of the responsibilities they're upon them. So here's the big one. Doesn't make us happy. Because if it make us happy, we wouldn't go into denial. But it makes us bechil ura'ada. It makes us shake. The fact that you don't even know like your job. So when you say, well, how am I supposed to know it? Well, the answer is there's a Torah. There's not in Torah. We do know. We do know. If you're ignorant, chaval. Take a look what happens if I do something which is not good. A little chet doesn't just work from me to you. A little chet makes the whole circle. Rabbi Yaacov, listen with me. You can do much more than Nebuchadnezzar and Titus. Okay, well, they were also humans, nachon? someone. So Nebuchadnezzar, get our history straight, Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the first Beis HaMikdash, Titus destroyed the second Beis HaMikdash. Nebuchadnezzar was the head of the Babylonians, Titus was the head of the Romans. Now, they destroyed Bayis Rishon, destroyed Bayis Sheni, big stuff. What they were able to do is big stuff. Who could destroy a Beis HaMikdash? But they did it. Whatever they did, we could do more. L'tov o l'ra. And he proves it. Because when it comes to Nebuchadnezzar and Titus, they didn't really do anything. They didn't make any pagam or kilkul in Shamayim. Because they don't have any kesher to the Shamayim. They could destroy the Beis HaMikdash, they can't destroy the Shamayim. In other words, they could do the Yerushalayim Shalmata, but they don't have any kesher to Yerushalayim Shalmala.
They can do Arisa, but they can't do Bniyah,
They can't do Charbon in the serious sense. It's like you can cut down a tree, but they couldn't uproot the root. You see, the Babylonians didn't stop. Charshu, Adai Yisoidba. And it's still going to go up again. It did go up again. It's still going to go up again. However, when we do something, it's cutting it at the root. We are weakening kavyachol koach u'gvur shamala. The Tnuah Isla Elokim, Hashem can do whatever He wants to do, but the way He set up this corporation is that we are pushing the gas pedal. We Es mikdash Hashem tibu kavyachol b'hamikdash ha'elyon. We came along and we were metame the Beis HaMikdash. In the case of the Bayis Rishon, says the Gemara, we were metame the Beis HaMikdash with Gilui Arayos, with Shvichas Damim, with Avodah Zarah. We brought Avodah Zarah into the Beis HaMikdash. In the case of the Bayis Sheni, the Gemara says it was even worse, Sidas Chinam. And it was right in there. It wasn't even just out there in the field. It was right in there. So we were matishin. We were matish the katash kivyachol kayahu gur shamalas mikdash Hashem timu kivyachol mikdash elyon by dekach. See, look at it like being powered by Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Here's the base mikdash Shabbata. Here's the Hakadosh Baruch Hu, or the base mikdash Shabbat, if you will. And this light is coming and powering it, and then you can be mafsik the light. Wilts. Comes Nebuchadnezzar and he destroys. There's certain things that we need to do, but this is our koach, is to
Keep the connection.
Keep the connection and create the light even. Lefi the Zayar, we're not, just to be technical, we're not creating the light. The light is the Or Pashut of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we're manipulating the light, we're reflecting the light, we're absorbing the light. The light is what we're not in charge of. But the light remains. The Or Ein Sof. That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's. The supernal light. The Or Pashut. Do not know what supernal means. This is the key chazal that he brings here. Kimcha techina techinas. That Nebuchadnezzar knocked down. The flour was already ground. It was a straw house. It was nothing to destroy. It was a pushover.
Was it simultaneous or was it a timeline?
Exactly simultaneous to our bison. So the weaker we became, the weaker the structure became. But ad kedei kach, I'm just saying ad kedei kach, the physical structure became weak. It's like you could say, okay, we did Averis, the shechita is not beskala. The onon is not going to come down. No, the actual physical stones actually crumbled.
The gates open up also. The gates open up, swung open.
Yeah.
Is then the physical destruction simultaneous, or that could be at a later date?
I don't know, but I don't know, but he brings later, David HaMelech says, in Perek Hein Tilim, the way Rashi's Mefarish it, I presume Chazal, but Rashi says Ein Hein Tilim, it says that as the Babylonians, Tilim, David HaMelech, as the Babylonians, okay, it brings the pasuk a little bit later. Here, Yivada Kemevi Lamala Perek Ein Dalet pasuk Hey. Yivada Kemevi Lamala B'Sfach Eitz Kardumais. So they came with axes on the Beis Hamikdash. David HaMelech, it wasn't even built yet. Nevuah. So Rashi says that when the Babylonians came and started to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, they went with these axes. What are they called? These. What do you call it? That you knock down picks, like you knock down a wall. They went with these kardumais. They went with these kardumais. What? Sledgehammers. And the stones were swallowing them up. Rashi says they were fighting with the stones. Like they were fighting with the stones. What were they fighting? The stones eating up sledgehammer. This is inanimate. This has a person behind it. They were fighting with the stones because the stones had the koach shel mala, and this was the Kadosh Baruch Hu asking Klal Yisrael, just hold on. Hang in there. You can stop the destruction even right now. Just you're simultaneous. You could distract. And David Abel, like right. Look, the stones. There was a fight going on here, and the fight was going on between the Aretz and the Pamalya Shamala. That's what was happening, and the very fact that we withdrew. This is also in Chumash when we were fighting Amalek. Moshe Rabbeinu picked up his hands. And Klal Yisrael was Gavar, put down his hands. Amalek was Gavar. Shamayim va'aretz. Look up to the Shamayim, says the Mishnah. Look up to the Shamayim, and you can give all this koach to Klal Yisrael and be matish the koach of Amalek. And how much can I tell you to look up to Shamayim? So they held his hands up. This is the koach of Adam. Kol zman she Yisrael mistaklim klape malo, right? They were Gavar.
So our effect, let's say on something like a destructive tsunami, is that also a consequence of...
Without question. But who likes to think about it? Just to be clear, I don't know how to know exactly what causes what. Chazal knew that, out of all the different things that we did, it was the sinas chinam that destroyed those stones. Maybe some Mekubalim and Tzvas know. I don't know, nor do I believe anybody knows what caused the tsunami or what causes
an earthquake.
Right. Now, you think about it a lot because so many terrible things happen. These people are getting stabbed and things blow up, and what is it? You could say it's svara. You could be clever about it. I know that when people started getting stabbed in Yerushalayim, Lo Yaleinu Rachmana Litzlan, so my initial reaction is like we all have to stop stabbing people in the back, right? But I'm just saying a vart. I'm not I don't know if we know, but what we do know is that Mipnei Chatoenu Galinu Me'artzenu. That we do know. I don't know who's the Navi or who's smart enough to know, the Navi or the Chacham, to know exactly what caused what and what's the Midah Keneged Midah. If Gedolim say it, then they know it. I don't think it's because we have cell phones. I don't think that's the issue, But I don't know. iPhones. I don't think people are getting stabbed. But you just see it like every time. Hello, Siri. It just doesn't sound mastaver to me. But okay, but I'm not. We're talking about Yesodistic Averas and Matishin Pamalia Shamala. But clearly, every time somebody does something wrong, or looks at something wrong, or thinks something wrong, they're making some kind of hatasha. Now, I just want to address before we Jews and Gentiles. How do we get to Jews all of a sudden? Nebuchadnezzar is also a person. He was also Tzelem Elokim, also a descendant of Adam and Chava. So why is their koach here? Amalek's koach is down here, and Jewish koach is up here. So let me explain to you this paradigm shift. It wasn't always this way. When Hashem created the world, there was one Adam, one Chava. In fact, there was one Adam Chava. and everything was going to come from them with the same koach, Adam. Zois teras ha-Adam, says Chaim Volozhin. The Gemara spells out that at some point, Atem kriyim Adam, ve'ena akum kriyim Adam. Adam ki yamos ba'oil, a guy is not doesn't have too much mace. There's a kohen midaraisa can go over to a guy and walk through a non-Jewish cemetery. Because Adam ki yamos ba'oil. So Atem kriyim Adam, they're not called Adam. Makara. Why aren't they Adam? Tosfos asks the kasha. We find a lot of places that they are called Adam. So Tosfos says a chiddush whenever it says ha-Adam, it's a shver Tosfos. But okay, that's a lumder charade in Masech Avodah Zarah, Masech Gittin. There's Adam and there's Adam. The real pshat is Tosfos notwithstanding that at one point we were all Adam, but then Adam, and here's the history of the world in a minute. Adam did chet. We did a lot of chatoim, but the big chet, two big chatoim, was we ate from the Eitz Hadas, and then Cain killed Hevel. And now, as the Ramchal says in Derech Hashem, the whole first chapter is devoted to this point. Derech Hashem. The world was all Gan Eden. It would have all been Gan Eden. Adam lived in Gan Eden. It was like a perfect world. Ad Kedei Kach, says the Ramchal, we wouldn't have really needed the Rabbi Haber because everything was perfect here. Rabbi Haber was a later that's why not in the Chumash. It was an afterthought. Okay, the Dechet. The world was perfect. Adam was horace the world, and now the world is imperfect and requires a tikkun. And many have tried to make this tikkun throughout the generations, even the first generations, Chanoich and Falu and all the different cases up to Noach. The one who makes the tikkun, the generation that makes the tikkun, the one who makes the tikkun is Mashiach. The whole point of the Geula is that we're going to get back to a pre-chet situation. I mean, think about it. Adam Arishon brought Misa into the world. If he didn't bring Misa into the world, there would be no need for Tchias HaMesim, would there? So, who are you going to be Machayah? If he wouldn't have brought Misa into the world, so who's hanging out in Olam Haba? You wouldn't need a Gan Eden Shomala. So all of the things that this chet that Adam Arishon did messed up the world big time, and it was a big one, yeah. And now we need a tikkun to get the world back to where it's supposed to be. Now the Nevi'im have told us there will be a tikkun. We can count on it. There will be a tikkun, there will be a geula, but we need to understand maturely what that geula is. The geula is when finally the tikkun will happen. They instead of getting better, though, we got worse. That was the problem. Cain kills Hevel. Gets worse and worse and worse. And so the tikkun is not with them. When Noach was born, they said, his father said, Ze Yenachamenu. It's like a nice truck there. What's it called? Ze, what? No, it's two trucks. Ze Yenachamenu. He'll be the Nechama. Noach. Name Shem Noach. Let him be the Nechama. He'll do it. He'll be Mashiach. Almost. He couldn't do it. He couldn't turn the door around. He couldn't make the tikkun. He could only save himself and his children and a few animals. But he saved the world, so it was like a Band-Aid. But he couldn't make the tikkun. After Noach, nobody was making the tikkun. After Noach, now these people weren't Jewish per se. They weren't Bnei Yisrael. After Noach, he had the Bnei Noach. Shiva mitzvahs Bnei Noach. Let's try this. It resulted in the Dor HaPalaga. The Dor HaPalaga, were people, a generation that understood how much koach they have in the Pamalia Shamala. And they said, let's use it abusively. Let's abuse our koach. Let's go up to the Shemayim. Let's make a war on the Shemayim. V'naseh lanu shem. Naseh lanu shem. Now we know the Zohar says that makom shinar, even that building the koach of Achdus, look what they had. Everybody spoke the same language. They could have built a Beis HaMikdash. What does that mean in our language? They could have made the Tikun. They could have made the Tikun. They could have built a Beis HaMikdash. Instead, they built the Tower of Babel. It was all dibur. Ish safa achas. You know, when you babble, it means you just blah, 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 blah. So that's where it comes from, Tower of Babel. Because they all started talking, nobody understood what they were really babbling about. But the thing is that it was at, the Ramchal says, that it was at the Dor HaPalaga that the Goyim lost their koach. And it was at the, the Dor HaPalaga was 2002 from Brias Olam. Such a significant time, because why did they choose this time? They choose this time because 2,000 years Tohu Vavo, now is the time for Tikkun. Let's do it our way. So in 2000, Seder Olam says they started building the Migdal Bavel. In 2002, they stopped building the Migdal Bavel. In 2002, Avraham Avinu came into the scene because he was born in 1948, and now he's 52 years old, and he says, I'll make the Tikkun. I'll make the Tikkun. So what happened was, it was the Dor HaPalaga, I'm quoting the Ramchal, it was the Dor HaPalaga which created the paradigm shift from everybody in the world being Adam to Avraham Avinu being Ata Oyavi, Zarecha are going to be my people, from you will come out the Tikkun. Zaracha v'loy kol Zaracha. Yitzchak, not Yishmael. Yaakov, not Esav. Machlokes the whole time between husband and wife, Avram and Sarah.
So Rabbi Yaakov wasn't having Geula Shlayma.
Almost. Mitasei Shlayma, bikesh l'galos hasakes. Yosef. Sinas Chinam. That was the Bayis Sheni. He was almost there. That was why he said, okay, I'll make the Tikkun. Moshe Rabbeinu, I'll make the Tikkun. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was Megalatum, no, you're not going into Eretz Yisrael. Shlach no biyat tishlach. So send, the Targum says, so send Eliyahu Navi, send Pinchas to take the Jewish tribe. If I'm not going to make the final Tikkun, Labelizos. You understand what was going on here? It was the whole world and all of Chumash and Tanakh. By the way, the Pirkei Avos, the Pirkei Avos series this year, which Lefi my minhag has nothing to do with Pirkei Avos anyway. I really want to discuss in detail the whole history of Tanakh and who was trying to make the Tikkun and who was breaking down the Tikkun. I'll be the yesod of the Ramchal that I'm telling you right now. But that is that everybody wanted to make the Tikkun. Everybody could have made the Tikkun, but they didn't make the Tikkun. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't make the Tikkun. So is it going to be Yoshua? It's going to be Mashiach. Is it going to be David HaMelech? I'll build the Beis HaMikdash. Harbe Dabim Shafachta. It's until you get to the real Tikkun. But the idea is this is all efforts to get the world back to where it's supposed to be. So what's the difference between Jew and Gentile? The answer is nothing until the Gentiles messed up and the Jews caught the ball. And that's all that happened. Now, that being said, anybody can become a Jew. Nobody's against anybody can become a Jew. If you want to take upon yourself to be a Jew, you're Megayer, and then you have the same koach in the Pamal Yishamalo. No less, nothing less. A Gera is nothing less than a person 50 generations Jewish, because anybody who wants to take this achrayus on themselves. Now, we who are born Jewish don't understand why anybody would want to take this achrayus on themselves. But I'll tell you one good reason too, and that is because the koach of the non-Jews is what? First of all, agents of the mess that we created in Shemayim. So Nebuchadnezzar comes along and he says, I'll destroy the Beis HaMikdash for you. You're the agent L'ra. They also have, when Goyim do an Aveira, they're not pogem in the Pamal Yishamalot, right? ISIS goes around decapitating people. That's not pogem we're pogame in the Lamala. I don't know who we're decapitating to create the decapitation in the world. Again, it's only Svaras. I once heard that, Rav Hutner Zatzal once said that, that the Welt says, I guess it was an expression, that the yeshivas are like a stone battle. So, like the bed in stone. So the Medrash famously says that the bed's in stone, so they were a certain size, and if you were too long, they cut off your feet, and if you were too short, they stretched you out. Like it's sort of like this communist idea that everybody has to be the same. That was Sodom. Like we don't like anybody different here. You're a little bit too tall, you're a little bit too short. Let's just be the perfect person. So the Welt says, Rav Hutner was quoting the Welt, said this at a Tower of Babel convention, that the Welt sagt that yeshivas are like a steinbettel. So meaning like they're trying to make everybody the same when in fact everybody's different. So Rav Hutner said, Ich sag, I say, a lot worse, because in stone, if you were too long, they cut off your feet. In yeshivas, they cut off your head. Okay, it's like a total decapitation. So I'm not criticizing yeshivas. I'm just saying what he said. But then then you see, then you see this decapitation going on. Cutting off people's heads all over the place. Like like off with his head. It's it's startling to me. Again, I'm not a Navi, but it's startling to me how possibly we have to be so careful to let people be individuals. Let somebody be an individual. Maybe that's the message. I'll say a svara, you'll say a svara. I'm just telling you a svara. But one thing is for sure, whether I'm right or wrong, there is a svara. There is something in our maisim which is being done, and it's specifically the maisim of Klal Yisrael, because the goyim messed up by the Dara Pelaga. What do they do when they do averas? And it says the Ramchal, at the same time I'm not reading to you inside, but please read it inside, Perek Gimel, Chelik Beis Perek Gimel, says the Ramchal, what they do with their averas is they destroy themselves. Which is why there's no longer any Babylonians. And there's no longer any Romans. And there's no longer any Persians. There might be people who live in that country, but they're not. Netanyahu, to his credit, said in the UN last time he spoke, he looked out at all the people, he said, anybody who tried to destroy the Jewish people and the people of Israel are not sitting here today. That's what he said. I don't know if with a sense of spirituality or a sense of history. Where are they? Where are the Romans? They're outside making pizza. They're not here. The Roman Empire is not here. The Greek Empire is not here. They're not here. The Babylonian Empire is not here. Who's sitting in the UN? Indonesia? So he warned them to be careful about this, because all that happens is that you destroy yourself. That's all that happens. I thought, what a message from a prime minister to the United Nations, to the world. Not that anybody heard it, but yeah, I heard it. You heard it. But it's straight out of the Nefesh HaChaim. So all they do with their averos is they destroy themselves. So that's not so bad. It's much worse when we do averos, because when we do averos, one word of lashon hara, who knows what's going? Who knows what tsunami we're bringing? And that's the Nefesh HaChaim. Ye'aches liba yachil b'kirbai b'chil ura'ata, that you have to tremble when you start to hear how important it is to be nice to another Jew, or how terrible it is to speak a word of lashon hara.
It's reflected because we have such a kohatika.
That's right, and that's why only we can bring the Tikun.
We don't have that.
Exactly right. Thank you. In other words, that the pshat is it went to Avraham Avinu, because Avraham Avinu can make these changes in Shemayim. The Bnei Avraham Avinu, v'loi kol bneihem, can't make these changes in Shemayim. So being that we can make these changes in Shemayim, we can bring the Geula. That's the pshat, and that is the rest of the story.
It was articulated to us in the Torah, through the Torah.
Clearly, as articulated to us in the Torah. Here's what you got to do. And then the mitzvahs become not just like some kind of social contract. Do this and the world will work better. It probably will. But the mitzvahs become something much deeper. Here is the manual as to how to drive the car, or how to drive the world as it is. Yeah, tremendous amount of koach. Otherwise, unfortunately, I don't think next week is going to work. So, that's Pesach again. But right after Pesach, and Mirz Hashem will pick up again
After Chol
after Chol Hamoed. That's part of Pesach. Yeah.